Tonight at 9:30, Florida's governor is heading toward Illinois next week. Why Ron DeSantis is making the stop in the state and Governor Pritzker's reaction to that planned visit. Also, officials maintaining a stance that air and soil are safe. The worries and complaints that continue from residents in Ohio. We begin in the Twin Cities tonight for a follow-up story. Changes are being made at the top of Illinois State University's leadership in Normal. Our Brianna Rittman attended today's Board of Trustees meeting and tells us who's in and who's out. Brianna?
Shelby, the Board of Trustees naming Dr. Anduve Atahule as the interim president of Illinois State University. This comes after the shocking news that Dr. Terry Goss Kinsey resigned on Tuesday, just 2 days before the university's Founders Day celebration.
I am humbled that the Board of Trustees has asked me to serve as interim president.
On Friday, Illinois State University's Board of Trustees appointed Dr. Anduve Tarhule as interim president. Before Friday, Tarhule served as Vice President of Academic Affairs and Provost. This announcement comes after the unexpected news that Dr. Terry Goss Kinsey resigned as the university's first female president.
Things happened very quickly. And as I said, many of us, like a lot of people listening, we are not aware of the discussions that were going on in the BOT. So I know not much more.
Kinsey resigned on Tuesday, serving less than 2 years as president. She took office in July 2021. While she was not at the board meeting, in a statement she says she intends to pursue other opportunities. Kinsey will be paid for 20 weeks of her salary, totaling close to $144,000, as well as unused vacation time. She can remain in the president's housing for up to 4 months. During public comment, one student spoke out against the lack of transparency from the Board of Trustees on this seemingly abrupt decision.
Doesn't the rest of campus, the rest of us on campus, all 20+ thousand of us, deserve to know what 11-ish people know? Why the most visible leader and single most powerful human of this university is no longer working here from one day to the next.
The Board of Trustees interim board chair, Catherine Bone, was asked how long has this transition been in the works and if the comments about lack of transparency regarding Kinsey's departure had any merit.
I really can't comment on that. I can't comment on that. But thank you for asking.
Bone did say Dr. Tarhule has real command on what's going on with the university and is the right person to move the university forward. Tarhule's tenure as interim president is effective until June 2024. Shelby?
Brianna, thank you. In other news, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will visit Elmhurst, Illinois next week to speak to the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. The visit comes as many view DeSantis as a presidential candidate for the Republican Party. DeSantis and Governor Pritzker have been positioned as polar opposites on the political spectrum. Governor Pritzker contributed to that belief by taking a thinly veiled shot at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis during his budget address.
There is a virulent strain of nationalism plaguing our nation, led by demagogues who are pushing censorship, with a particular attack right now on school board members and library trustees. It's an ideological battle by the right wing.
And Governor Pritzker responded to news of DeSantis' visit by tweeting, "Ron DeSantis' dangerous and hateful agenda has no place in Illinois." And Governor Pritzker joined state business leaders today to celebrate Illinois' black entrepreneurs. The group highlighted the state's Back to Business and Business Interruption grant programs. The pandemic programs have invested more than $800 million in black-owned businesses. 3 of Chicago's most famous black businesses were honored. They include Ethiopian restaurant Demera, Batter and Berries in Lincoln Park, and Two Fish Crab Shack in Bronzeville. The group also talked about the impact that black-owned McDonald's franchises have on their communities.
This community of entrepreneurs is committed to lifting up the communities that they serve, providing resources, empowering young minds, building leaders, and creating stronger neighborhoods at every turn.
More than 141,000 black-owned businesses are registered here in the state of Illinois. Illinois prosecutors who want to keep cash bail say the issue should be left up to voters. Opponents of the Safety Act's cash bail provision filed their arguments with the state Supreme Court today. According to the Chicago Tribune, they say the General Assembly improperly amended the state constitution without a referendum. Last month, Attorney General Kwame Raoul argued the legislature has long been able to set policy on court issues. He has until February 27th to respond. The Illinois Supreme Court is expected to hear arguments in March. Not guilty pleas today from 5 former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols. It was the first court appearance for Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin III, and Justin Smith. They face second-degree murder and other charges in Nichols' death. Nichols was initially pulled over in a traffic stop and he ran away, and cameras caught officers beating him. He died in the hospital 3 days later. The former officers are all out on bond. They're scheduled to be in court again in May.
I know my son is gone. I know I'll never see him again. But we have to start this process of justice right now. And I want each and every one of those police officers to be able to look me in the face. They haven't done that yet. They couldn't even do that today.
And the judge in the case is urging both sides to have patience as the case goes through the court system. Officials in Ohio continue to insist East Palestine's air and soil are safe. This follows the derailment of a freight train containing toxic chemicals. Governor Mike DeWine said again today extensive testing has found the municipal drinking water and the Ohio River are safe, but a creek near the crash site remains severely contaminated. DeWine says state authorities will establish a clinic to engage with residents that are worried about contamination. Garrett Tenney has the latest from East Palestine.
What federal response?
The White House is under fire for its response to the East Palestine train derailment.
If it were in Washington, D.C., it would all be cleaned up and taken care of and answers would be done.
After waiting nearly 2 weeks to send senior administration officials to visit the area, today the head of the EPA, who spent several hours in town Thursday, argued that waiting so long was the responsible thing to do.
When you bring in a senior official, especially at the cabinet level, you divert or pull away resources from the emergency response. And so we wanted to be sure that the emergency responders had all the resources and the focus to do what they've done.
Mayor Trent Conway is calling the EPA administrator's visit, quote, a dog and pony show, and says at this point, 2 weeks after the disaster, it'd be a slap in the face if Buttigieg or even the president showed up.
Well, this is turning into a political circus now. And as far as Mayor Pete, as people like to call him, I would rather he just stay away. He is just going to cause a circus, and unless he's going to bring a shovel and shovel some dirt and get rid of this contaminated soil, that's the only reason he would need to come to this town.
The state of Ohio is considering legal action against Norfolk Southern Railway, with Governor DeWine vowing to hold it accountable.
And we're going to insist that they pay. Whatever damages have been caused, the railroad is responsible for those damages.
On Monday, state and federal officials are expected to start opening a clinic in East Palestine with medical and toxicology experts so that folks here who are feeling sick can try to start to get some answers. Also tonight, a source familiar confirms to Fox News that President Trump will be visiting East Palestine next Wednesday. In East Palestine, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
The U.S. Navy has finished recovering all of the Chinese balloon debris from the ocean floor. The debris is heading to the FBI lab in Virginia for testing. Officials say the initial assessment reinforces the conclusion that it was a Chinese spy balloon. Officials also said the search for the small airborne object shot down over Lake Huron over the weekend ended with no recovery. President Biden said yesterday they don't believe that was a spy balloon.